All right, ladies and gents, I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
A Shadow Line production.
And welcome back to Pound for Pound. We are here. Henry, big fights going on this weekend. The middleweight champion. I like saying his name because I like to throw a French accent on his name. Dricus du Plessis. See, I like saying it like that. It sounds a little bit more, real. Taking on Sean Tarzan Strickland.
Is that his actual? Is that his actual nickname? The
It
Tarzan.
It was for a while. Yeah, it is Tarzan.
It is Tarzan. Damn.
Okay. Yeah, but a rematch from a fight last year and was a close fight, I guess, which is obviously why they kind of warranted doing. And Henry, I know we talked about this before, and you kind of mentioned you don't understand why they're doing this fight. In the time when this rematch was kind of on the radar and announced, there wasn't a clear-cut guy next for that title, Henry. And so now we have two guys that are like out there that could fight for that middleweight title in any given moment. So I think that's why this fight was kind of promised early on. But hey, it's a rematch people want to see, I believe, and so why not?
Yeah, I still stand by what I said, man. I personally don't feel like. Um, I personally don't feel like Sean Strickland really deserves that title shot. The only reason why is because, dude, what Hamza was able to do to Robert, I was surprised that the UFC did that. I mean, think about it. You get DDP and a guy like Hamza Chimaev, an American, versus I'm sorry, both of these guys have mouthpieces on them. Like I mean, either fight's going to sell, but it is what it is. Strickland does have it, but the person, when I look at this fight, Kamaru, I got to think about who is it that is going to have to make those adjustments. And the person that's really going to have to make those adjustments, and typically, I typically tend to, the person that has to make those adjustments because he lost his last fight, it is Sean Strickland. This Sean Strickland focused in on a lot of his takedown defense, on that threshold, on that conditioning. Because if Sean Strickland could keep it on his feet, bro, Sean Strickland is very, very dangerous, man. That shoulder roll, then that's one thing that DDP is going to have to not necessarily, find a way around it, because somehow he's able to really do that. He's probably going to have to kick a little bit more too, but it was DDP, man. I watched the fight. It was 3 rounds to 2. The takedowns really carried Dricus throughout the fight. But now, if Sean Strickland does develop a good defense or develop good range, DDP could be in trouble.
I completely agree with you, Henry. Before, yeah, you're right. I think Sean has to make a little bit of an adjustment, which is the takedown defense. But we've been hearing that he's been working with Kyle Baralio for this fight. He's winning and really worked with some top guys in that division. As we see, he does spar with Alex Pereira. But there's the holes in these styles. I would say. I think Dricus does need to make a bit of an adjustment as well, because when I fought Sean Strickland, and this was something that the great Henry Hoof kind of we were able to see and break down, is don't try to hit his head. Don't swing for his head. And you saw that. If we run this clip back, you will see the exchanges where Dricus he's trying to hit his head, and you just can't hit his head. Because when Sean is upright in his stance and he leans back, you just can't land a flush shot at his head because of that style. It's very, very difficult to hit him in the face. So what we did, we focused on his body. I went to his body, but then obviously you mix it up and you go for the takedowns as well. And that makes it a lot easier to get to a guy like Sean Strickland. But for Sean, as far as adjustment, I think it's very difficult. Like you said, Henry, kicking his leg is very, very difficult to kick Sean Strickland's legs. Very, very difficult because he lifts it. He's constantly lifting the leg, He's constantly walking forward, so it makes it very difficult to be able to time that and really deliver a good kick. I think Dricus du Plessis needs to kind of um, potentially come at it with a different style, a different approach, but of course, put in the similar work, mix it up, and potentially get his hand raised again. But man, I'm honestly now I'm a little bit more excited because it's always exciting to see how things change the second time around. So I'm a little excited to see what Sean Strickland is going to do different, and if Sean Strickland can be the champ again, because we know what everyone was saying. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Sean is an accidental champion." Hey, it is what it is. You know, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. He was prepared. He got the opportunity, became the champion, and so hey, can he do it again?
Yeah, no, that's well. If you're DDP now, Kamaru, or if I'm DDP, what I'm looking to do early now because he's been in there with Strickland for 5 rounds, 25 minutes of understanding somebody's fight pace and threshold. He's gonna have to start wrestling early right away. He's gonna have to kick and he's gonna have to wrestle, but he cannot stay in that striking position too much because man, Strickland can turn around and beat this dude. Like he really can, man. Strickland, even against the cage dude, he's a hard dude to take down as well. He's gonna have to do everything off the open. And could he bring in that wrestling right away? You know, and then Israel and Robert Whitaker, you know, you saw little clips of them talking about DDP and talking about how sloppy he is, but yet he's able to get some of this stuff. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? I mean,
right. If you're there,
it's
if you're there to be
problematic,
hit,
man.
yeah, if you're there to be hit, DDP when he does connect, hey, he hurts these guys and he potentially puts these guys away. So, but Sean Strickland, like I just said earlier, is very difficult to hit him flush in the head because he's got that shoulder roll style
No,
to where
I
he
get that. I
leans
get that.
back, and then also
But my
he's
question is,
just
Kamaru,
yes.
your DDP, you've already been in there with Sean Strickland. What adjustments are you making
Yeah, you're
if you're
right.
DDP?
You're right. I would introduce the wrestling earlier, but for a guy like DDP, we did see towards the end of that fight, he was tired. He was very tired, and he wrestled quite a bit. So by bringing it in earlier, could that potentially gas you when you are not used to potentially wrestling that early in a fight? So that's my only thing. I just think he needs to be a little bit more accurate. For me, that's the adjustment that I would make. I would say be a little bit more accurate. Sean Strickland can hurt you if he can land flush and sharp. He can hurt you. But for a guy, we can say that DDP probably has the power advantage here. So I would say work a lot on being a little bit more precise with your strikes and economical with it. So when you land, make sure they mean something and not like in the first fight when they were both winging shots and both missing, and that tends to gas you.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? I almost kind of take it back. The only adjustment that Strickland needs to do is defend the takedown. Could he spend a lot of time there? That's it. On the feet, man, there's something about Strickland. He doesn't kick enough. I don't feel like he kicks enough.
No,
But if he was to kick a little bit more and keep it on his feet, then that would make it a lot more problematic for DDP. But I think I flipped the script now. Uh, the person that really is gonna have to make those adjustments now is DDP, man. He's gonna have to mix it and start it early. And is his gas tank ready for that? Because Sean fights everybody the same. I thought Sean was gonna fight Israel Adesanya different. Dude, he fought him the fucking same. He found this hit, and I don't think he's going to change. He's going to press. He's going to press. Keep or what he did against Israel Adesanya is he pressed, and he was able to get that leg kick off of him, which is one of his biggest weapons. So, but
right,
with Dricus, you
right,
press, there's takedowns. So Sean may be like, hey, you know what? Why don't I sacrifice maybe round 1 and 2, win 3, 4, and 5? Because you did say he does get tired. So if I'm Sean Strickland, maybe I walk him the fight. Maybe I sacrifice round 1. Maybe I even sacrifice. Maybe I even take a little bit further and sacrifice a little bit of round 2. But then by the time 3, 4, and 5 hits, maybe he could become just that different fighter. Now he really bites off those. Now he really, off of all the wrestling that he's been doing. I mean, championship fights, as we saw, dude. We go back and watch that Marab and Umar fight, dude. When you're a championship fighter, the game changes, bro. You know what it's like to go 5 rounds. It's an experience factor. Now, Could Sean Strickland tactically do that? And I just don't know if he has that. I don't know if he has that mindset to do that. But for a world title, I think he also needs to start the fight early in order for him to get a
I
little
agree.
close to that belt.
I agree, Henry, and you're right. I think it's it Strickland has tasted what it is to be a champion for a little bit. And that's a drug. This is why he started fighting and campaigning for he wants to rematch. Hey, he had it, and now he wants it back. And if I'm Sean Strickland, I'm 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 not listen, Henry. You said sacrifice round 1 and 2. No, I'm on his ass off rip. Pause. I'm on his ass. I'm pressuring him off rip. I'm making him exert that energy. I'm making him take that shot. I'm making him go to that wrestling early because I know I prepared to defend and defend and defend. Hey, Henry, it doesn't that's the beauty of MMA is you
Just
don't
make him
have to
fight.
let you don't have the fight doesn't have to breathe. You don't have to let it breathe. And I think that's something that Justin Gaethje does so well. He puts people in the fire off rip. And if you're not prepared to handle it, burn your ass
Yeah,
up.
yeah. But I will play the devil's advocate here. He does put people on fire, but when they survive, he also lights himself on fire too.
Hey,
So
hey,
so
you
so
burn their ass up or get your ass burnt up. Hey,
yeah, yeah.
that's what it
That's
is.
part of being a risk taker. But everything that we talked about now, Kush, I gotta let you have it, dude. Who do you have, or do you want me to go first?
You go first. You go first, Henry.
All right,
I'm
man.
nervous.
Man, I think, dude, I think this is Dricus's last fight with Idra. He really impressed me, dude. He's gonna have to rely on that wrestling and just scoring those 5 rounds and then getting that finish against Israel. I think he's just more well rounded, bro. And typically, what tends to happen too is the base. Like we'll talk, we'll get to our co-main event here. Because it's the same thing. We have a guy that mixes and then just a really good base. And for Strickland, his bases, his shoulder roll, his boxing, and his defense. But even though like this is a tricky one for me, but I gotta go with DDP just for the simple fact that one, I want him to win. Two, I feel like he just mixes his fight a little bit more, and I think him beating out champions the way he has, I think his confidence has only risen. And the fact that he's already been there with 25 minutes with Sean, which we know that Sean is not going to change, but I gotta go with the one and only DDP.
You said because I want him to win, so you don't want Sean to win?
No, I like what Dricus is doing. I think there's a lot of fun matches with Dricus. It's
Mm.
Sean too, but
Wait,
I like
do you
DDP.
want him to win or you don't want Sean to win?
I,
I
I,
like how you sticking. Yeah, you 10 toes down. Do you not want him to win?
no, I'm going for DDP. I'm going for
Okay,
the South
okay,
African. I'm going for the
okay,
South African Lion, dude.
okay. I like that. I think you hit a lot of good points. I do think Sean, like I said, he tasted what it is to be a champion, and he wants that back. And I think Sean is gonna definitely try to do a little something different, but from what I've seen and maybe heard from previous training partners and previous teammates, is Sean tends to be very headstrong in wanting to get out of his own way, and I think that might play a factor here in him not wanting to change anything in his style. I think might hinder him from being champion, and so I'm gonna have to go with DDP on this one. And plus, I would say maybe Sean spent a lot more time because I saw him sparring with Pereira, who's an orthodox fighter. I um I don't know if he. I think Chris Curtis, who was his best friend for years and years and years, I think would have been great for him. But so I don't know what that situation is. I know they had beef. They broke up so I don't know what the situation is there. So I'm assuming they didn't spend a lot of time together preparing for this fight. So if that's the case, then Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with DDP on this one. Go
Yeah,
DDP.
damn, that's a good one, dude. All right.
Yep.
Well, there we have it.
So moving on to the co-main event. Oh, before we move on, Henry, before we move on, like, so let's say he does, either one does get the job done. Who's next?
Yeah. You gotta give him Hamzat.
Who's
You
next for
gotta
the winner and who's next for the loser?
yeah. Well, the winner gets Hamzat. The loser needs to fight Robert Whitaker. I think either one. Yeah.
Think about it.
I, yeah, I think Robert Whitaker
Think about it.
or Israel. I did. Son, you trying to put him back in there with these dudes?
Think about it, Henry.
Or Imavov. Bingo.
Perfect. Bingo. Because we were trying to figure out how, because Imavov just made a case for himself to fight for that title. So
Yeah, but right, but
you
this
gotta
is
go
what
with you gotta go with Chimaev first because Chimaev has definitely earned it.
yeah.
So what do you do with Imavov? You have him just sit and wait, or do you want to give him another big fight to really put his name up there as the upper echelon and the next
Yeah.
guy for that title? So yes, I like that, Henry. I think
Well,
you're
well,
spot on.
well. Okay. Now let's say even if DDP loses, you don't think Dana White would give him a rematch?
No, why?
Really?
Loses what? Loses in which way though? Okay, I think it
Let's
does
just
make.
say let's just say for whatever reason. Because remember, they're fighting again for the second time.
Right.
We've seen these trilogies kind of take place. Just think about it, Kush.
No,
DDP's defended his belt 3 times already, bro. That's a lot of defenses, man. In MMA.
He's defended twice. He's won the belt and defended twice.
Okay, well, it's okay. So he has 3 title defenses. So he has 3 title victories.
No, what do you mean 3 title defenses?
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
No.
If they decide to give him,
he beat Israel. No, he beat Sean Strickland, took the title. Then he defended against Israel. So he's had 2 fights for the title.
oh, that's right. So 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess.
Either
that makes
one
sense.
wins because you have a clear cut next guy. I think one of the main reasons we see some of these trilogies is for 2 reasons. One, if the champion is a long-standing champion that has defended and defended and defended, and he's solidified as that guy. And 2, if there's not a clear-cut next guy, next contender, like we saw with Moreno and who was it, Pantoja. They kept fighting because we didn't know who the next guy was. So yes, I think those are the 2 reasons why you do a trilogy. But we have a clear-cut next best guy, and that's the Wolf, Khamzat Chimaev. So I think it doesn't matter. Winner gets Khamzat Chimaev, loser gets Nasruddin Imavov.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, man, dude. Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, watch out, dude.
Take notes.
Kamaru Usman wants that job.
Yeah. Well, we
He
move
wants
on to the next. We got Zhang Weili taking on Tatiana Suarez, a young lady who we've known for a while, and we watched kind of get into MMA after us, and she has definitely made waves. So Henry, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your thing on this one. Go ahead, just give it a breakdown on this one because I already know where you're leaning.
No, this is a fight between a mixed martial artist, somebody that could really mix their fighting very well. Obviously, they're both MMA fighters, but somebody that mixes their fighting very well. And a girl like Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili has hands, she has knees, she has takedowns, she has defense. Like, you're talking about a girl that's very, very well rounded, but now she's also typically when people tend to lose to guys like that or to people like that is because the other person just has that one solid base. And I'm gonna go back and tell you when I fought Demetrius Johnson. Demetrius Johnson was all around was just a better fighter. But when I started bringing in the inside trips, that top control up top, and I brought in the wrestling, I was able to edge out the victory. And this to me, in my eyes, even though a lot of people don't know who Tatiana Suarez is because she's been injured, but Tatiana is a dangerous fighter. I mean, like, if it wasn't for all of her injuries, she could have won the Olympics. That's how good she was. This girl was really, really good, and she's 11-0. She's defeated girls like Alexa, like submitted girls like Alexa Grasso, former champs, like in round 1, like ridiculous. What I'm trying to say is it's a battle between somebody that has all the tools, but then somebody that has that one tool that makes it so dangerous that could nullify all of these. And the most important base in mixed martial arts, and you know it, Kush, it's called wrestling.
I didn't know where you almost lost me there at the beginning. I didn't know where you was going with that, Henry, because you
Yeah,
was,
well, I haven't put my picture. I'm just analyzing the fight and how
okay.
it should be analyzed, because you do have somebody that has a lot of tools, but then you have this one wrench that one wrench could nullify all of them, and you got to think about that too.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Henry. I think I couldn't have said it better myself. I do think Zhang Weili is created for MMA. She can do everything. She came in early in the career. She was really displaying the jiu-jitsu. She was using the ground game. When she took you down, chances are you weren't getting up. And if you did try to get up, you would get submitted. And then you saw her striking. She's incredible. And then you saw her use the wrestling when she needed to use it. So it's very, very difficult. And look how quick, like just looking at that, look how quick she's racked up title wins and title defenses. So, I mean, it's Jean Weili is definitely extremely well rounded, but she's going up against someone who has that wrench that could open and just loosen up a bunch of your skills. And so, Henry, it's tough, but yeah,
Look, look, look
this
at
is
that! Look at
it's
that!
a
Just look at her. Just look at her freaking resume real quick. Look at that. August 5th, 2023. Last time she fought, submission. Montana De La Rosa submission. Nina Nunes unanimous decision. Carla Esparza KO. Alexa Grasso submission. Viviana Pereira decision. Amanda Cooper submission. Kate
Jessica
Jackson
Andrade.
submission.
Jessica Andrade.
I mean, look, bro, like a lot of her fights, like she's a finisher, bro. Yeah, it may not be the most exciting style of fighting, but she
Right.
gets the job done.
I agree.
Did Weili bring in those training partners that are gonna put her in those deep waters? And that's my biggest question.
All right. So Henry, where are you leaning? Where are you leaning?
And you know what? I know both of these girls, bro. I don't think it'd be fair for me to, I've
Yo,
known Tatiana
don't.
since high school, bro. And then the other one,
So,
she came out here and literally did a whole training camp. We were trying to take out your girl,
so,
Thug Rose.
so, where are you leaning towards, Henry?
If Tatiana has the right game plan, if she's not even everybody's gonna know her game plan. Pressure, put her against the cage, ground and pound, look to stay on top, maybe look for submissions, look for TKOs. Now, could Zhang Weili stay in the center, use lateral movements,
Where are you
pick
leaning,
her
Henry?
shots? I'm gonna have to say a draw. What do you think? What do you think, Kush?
You are such a cop out, bro.
Nah, this one I can't, Kush. This one I can't because Weili's like my sister, and I've known Tatiana longer than I've known Weili, bro. So I'm gonna have to, you know me, bro. Typically I will exit out, but this is a hard one, dude.
Oh, okay.
Just say it then. You call me a pussy? Just say it, Kush. Just say it.
Hey, you said it, not me. But if I have to pick here, there's nothing that has showed me, especially about the wrench that Tatiana is gonna bring in. There's nothing that has shown me otherwise that Zhang Weili can't deal with that, because Carla Esparza tried to wrestle with her. Jessica Andrade kind of tried, even though Jessica is not nowhere near the level of wrestling that Tatiana is. She just couldn't do it. And so this is either the fight that's going to level up Tatiana Suarez to show everyone that she can deal with anyone, or this is a fight that's going to show her that I have a little bit more work to do. So, and it's the same thing Chael said to me when I was facing Tyron Woodley. So until I see that, I'm going to have to go with Zhang Weili because she has the experience and she's been there. So, but if anyone can do it, Oh, it's damn sure Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tatiana Suarez, she has the ability to do some amazing things, bro. I would not count her out. If you guys are looking to bet, dude, don't. I probably wouldn't bet on this one because Tatiana, she could finish the fight. And I will say this, just throw a little wrench in there too. Zhang Weili with good
Wait,
timing, like what something that Rose did. She was able to find those takedowns, bro, off of timing. So
wait.
MMA
Let's
wrestling
look
does
at this.
change a
Let's
little
look
bit.
at this. You do realize Tatiana Suarez is the favorite. It's a pick'em fight, but she's the favorite.
Really,
Yeah, -125.
it's that base, bro. It's that
It's
base.
yeah.
It's that
It's a pick'em
American.
fight.
It's
Look,
that American style of wrestling that she came up from that, and there's a reason why the UFC is maybe doing this. If Zhang Weili gets past Tatiana Suarez, she needs to go up. 125 pounds. Give me that belt. Let me fight Valentina Shevchenko. It's going to be the battle between the two girls that have been dominant in the division. And if
right.
Tatiana wins, I mean, she's going to go through a nice little 4-fight win streak. And then I think she wants to go up. She has the ability to not just go up to 125 pounds.
Wait. You
Call me
said
crazy, Kush?
no.
It may,
They're still contenders for Tatiana Suarez as a new champion. You want to kind of sit in your division for a little bit. You know, slap one or two people around, contenders around, and then decide if hey, these people aren't as challenging for me anymore, I need to go up. So not just yet. Tatiana wins, stay in the division, defend for a couple of fights, make a little bit of money, and then get to that next level. For Zhang Weili, I agree with you. Yes, she can move up and see what's next up there.
yeah.
But Henry, since you copped out and you didn't want to pick, all right, let's go to the rest of the card. Let's see if you're gonna pick or you're gonna cop out again. But 7-0, Brazilian coming in, taking on Justin Tafa. Who you got?
Yeah, those numbers say it all. I haven't seen neither one of these two guys scrap. I've seen Tafa fight, but man, 7-4, dude, that's not a good record. This dude is 6'7", a lot bigger. It's gonna be harder to reach, and he's undefeated. And I know these Brazilians come with hands as well, so I'm gonna go with Teixeira.
Okay, look at that. He hasn't gotten out. I don't think he's gotten out of the first round. KO, 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 KO,
Oh,
head
and
kick,
can I
in,
say
kick, in,
I got
two.
him by first round knockout?
Oh, it's like that. Mm. Whoa!
Oh yeah, no,
Look
this
at
dude's
that.
this
That was him
this
on the
dude's
contender
hands.
series. It's I like it, Henry. But listen, Justin Tafa can crack Justin Tafa if he hits you. He kind of it reminds me a little bit of Mark Hunt. Yes, Teixeira is 6'7", and I'm sure Justin Tafa is used to fighting these taller guys. So this is a tough one. I might go with Justin Tafa on this one. I think he's due for a win, and he's fighting at home. I might go with Justin Tafa uh, for the KO. I don't think it's a decision. I don't think this fight ends in a decision. I think it's a KO, and I'm gonna go with Justin Tafa. So moving on to the next one, we got the light heavyweight. We got Jimmy Crute taking on Rodolfo Bellato, or is it Bellato? Yeah, Bellato, or yeah, Rodolfo Bellato. Sorry if I killed the name, my brother. My Brazilian brother.
He's another contender that has fire in his hands. And dude, I'm probably just going. I mean, if it comes down to strikes, I know Jimmy's been hurt, dude, with calf kicks and things like that. So I'm just have to go with the better striker. Dude. I'm have to go with Bellato, and I said Bellato, not Bellator.
I'm going with Jimmy Crute. I think Jimmy Crute at home is that guy we saw in that last fight. So I'm going with Jimmy Crute. Then we get to the Celtic or the Celtic kid, Jake Matthews, taking on Francisco Prado. Who you got?
Wow. So this is another Australian that they're giving him he's the underdog. Like I don't know what they're doing in Australia, but Francisco Prado's got hands, man. That Argentinian's really really good, bro. I've seen him strike. I know Matthews has, I know he's more experienced with close to 30 fights, but man, Francisco Prado's got hands on him, bro. And I know he comes from a good school, so I'm gonna have to go with the Argentinian. I'm gonna have to go with Prado.
This is a banging fight. I believe Jake Matthews lost his last fight. I think that's to the Venezuelan kid. I think he lost his last fight. I'm not sure. But before that, Jake Matthews has really looked good, and then being at home as well. uh, I'm gonna go with Jake Matthews, even though I agree with you, Henry. Prado does got some hands on him, but I'm gonna go with Jake Matthews at home winning.
Damn.
Yeah.
God, this ain't looking good for Australia on my cards, bro.
What you mean? I see what you're saying, but hey, don't be surprised. This is Henry. This is one of those cards that there's not a lot of names that just jumps out at you. You're like, oh, I know that guy's a superstar. I've seen him fight a ton of times. But hey, this is a card
Yeah,
where there's
a
it
lot,
could surprise you.
and
You know,
you're right, bro. There's a lot of these names, bro, I have never heard of. So the UFC Australia, it seems like they're putting a lot of these Brazilians and a lot of these Australians kind of on the same card. But I think either, I think whatever, dude. I think the co-main and the main event's really gonna make up this pay-per-view card. Is it the stackest pay-per-view card in recent times? No, this is probably one of the weaker ones. But the main event and the co-main event are really going to make it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that none of these fights, but you want names. You want people to, even if I don't see the fight and the fight's a banger, you won't watch it because you don't know who they are.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
but I think the co-main event and the main event is really going to make up UFC 312, I believe. Am I right, Kush?
You're right. You're right. You're right. I agree with you. You're
But
right. All right, Henry. That is the main card, UFC 312. I mean, those that main event and the co-main event. These are big fights with big implications, and obviously, like you mentioned, yeah, it carries the card, and I can't wait to see them. So make sure definitely you stay tuned for our 312 reaction. We definitely will be watching, and we'll let y'all know. But Henry, in other news, did you hear that Canelo, your friend Alvarez, potentially will be fighting Terence Crawford? Of course,
I,
September,
s-
Mexican independence.
I saw that, Kush. I saw it. I think that's I think it is gonna happen. I was thinking more was gonna be in May, dude. But Turkey Al Sheikh is doing a hell of a good job, dude, of getting these fighters, dude. The past weekend with Benavides, this dude Pitbull versus the other Mexican, like, bro, boxing right now is on fire, and hopefully this domino effect, and hopefully shake it by all these governing bodies and turn it into the UFC, and turn it all into one. But I like it. I mean, if this is I still feel like the reality is I would love to see Terence fight 54 pounders, dude, prior to really, getting that big fight with Canelo in September. So these guys are going to fight prior to September 13th, bro. You don't want to wait that long. I know Canelo's a businessman, and I know Terence likes to fight quite a bit. And I know the two dates for Canelo is May 5th and
September.
September 15th, September 16th. Those are the dates that he always takes. So those are his, bro.
Wait,
So Canelo
wait,
will
wait.
fight. Canelo's dates are always in May and September. Will Canelo Alvarez wait until September? These dudes are gonna fight, so they're gonna sizzle. So they're probably gonna pick maybe an opponent they can kind of, not the toughest opponent, but obviously in the top 10. But I'm happy this fight's going to happen. Do I wish Terence would maybe defend his belt a little bit more, because he was a natural junior welterweight. But if he could go up to 154 pounds and beat somebody up and then fight Canelo, then that'll make sense. But I still feel like it's too premature, man. I like Terence, but man, Canelo has fought nothing but 68 pounders, bro. The power is different. He's fought guys. He hasn't fought Benavides, but he's fought guys at that level.
Yeah, Henry, I think you have a good point. Yeah, Terence Crawford did fight at 154. I think he fought Madrimov at 154.
Yeah,
To
Israel Madrimov.
Yeah, Madrimov. He did fight him at 154. But you are right, and if he did fight Canelo, he's going to be going up to 168. You are right. I would like to see Terence Crawford fight once or twice, one or two more times at that 154 to really acclimate to that size, as opposed to jumping up those many weight classes. But money talks. You trying to tell me I don't need to wait for $100 million? I don't need to wait, Henry. Henry, if I told you you could fight in 2 years, but I'm gonna pay you $100 million, you're not gonna wait?
I'll wait.
Exactly. So they wait 100, 200 million. They're gonna wait, and yeah, I would like to pretend. I would like to see Terence Crawford if Canelo chooses not to wait, because let's say he does have a defense planned in May at
I
at
don't
a,
think it's
at
I don't think it's built up yet, Kamaru. Even
what
though even though Terence is pound for pound, I don't feel like the fight is. I feel like it's just more of an exhibition, bro. And I don't like that shit. Quite honestly, there you
I
heard it.
I'm right there with you. For the first time, I agree with you, Henry. Well, not the first time, but I agree with you. You know, usually you're pretty biased on Canelo, but I agree. I think for what it's going to cost, this fight's going to cost, I would like to see it built up a lot more. And it's not built up a lot. It's not that big, because it's not going to bring in the the revenue that definitely you're going to pay out, because you'll pay one guy at least 100, 200 million. So, yeah, I think definitely there needs to be a little bit more of a build up. But it is what it is. You know, if it happens, it happens. I will definitely be watching. And I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how Canelo would, well, not Canelo, how Terence Crawford would deal with something like that. But moving on, Henry, we have this week's question from a casual. And the question is, Henry, you are Dana White and Hunter. And let's not forget Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby, because they also, put their hands in making these fights. They are the matchmakers. Um, you need to build your dream team, your main card for a pay-per-view. You have 5 fights between Henry, active UFC fighters. Who are you picking? 5 total fights. Any division, must be active fighters, not retired. I'll start first. I'm putting main event. I'm going John Jones taking on Francis Ngannou. Oh, okay, never mind. They have to be active. They have to be active UFC fighters. Okay, so I'm gonna go John Jones versus um versus
Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall. Listen, there's a way. Francis is in the business with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now UFC is in the business of UFC with Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. There's a way here to make this happen. You feel
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
ruling Francis out just yet, but because that's the fight everybody
That's
really wants
that's
to see.
that's a great point too.
Yes. That's the
Shane can
fight
make that
everyone
shit
really
happen.
wants to. Exactly. That's the fight everybody really wants to see. But if we don't get that, I'm gonna go with Tom Aspinall versus John Jones for the main event. Who you got, Henry?
Yeah, for the main event, man, I might have to put Kamaru Usman versus Bilal Muhammad. I think that's the fight. That's the fight that we got. That's the fight that we got to see. And then the co-main, I'm gonna have to go with Jones and Aspinall. But you got to put the Nigerian Nightmare and Bilal up there. It's too grudgy. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay. I
And you
like
know what?
that.
And you know what? Put Kamaru Usman, Bilal Muhammad. Once you put fucking two up there.
Okay. All right. Listen, I'm gonna go with co-main. Honestly, not to even give any light to this, but I would second that, Henry. I would put myself and Muhammad on there for co-main. Um,
Okay.
and for fight 3, I have to put Ilia Topuria. I think Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Ilia wants to go to lightweight. Charles Oliveira is the next guy. If you can't give him Islam Makhachev, because it seems like no one's talking about that fight, no one wants to see, no one wants to give him the props for that fight. So he's saying, "All right, I'll beat the next number 1 guy, and then I'll get the shot." So I will go Ilia versus Oliveira.
That's a good one, bro. I'm actually, dude, fight 3, dude. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I think I like that. I like that. I like that fight that would really make Ilia Topuria the number 1 contender.
Right.
Um or can erase that real quick. Or we go Ilya versus Islam.
I
You know what I'm
agree with
saying?
you.
And I
I
think and
like
I
that.
think and I think that would be a banger too. I think what Ilya's been able to do, and it seems like he's not gonna be fighting Volkanovski anytime soon. Like he's dedicated. He wants to go up to 155 pounds. He wants that second belt. And dude, he's knocked out 55ers, bro. That fucking kid is dangerous. But could he get past a guy that's technically very, very sound with his hands up and Islam Makhachev?
Right. Okay. And fight number 4 for me. Whew. Okay, yeah, go to fight number 4. Who you got next for fight number 4, Henry?
You know what? Fight number 4. I would say me and Sean O'Smalley. I think the grudge from him dissing us on pound for pound, on me talking shit to.
You keep saying us?
No, because it's not just me, Kush. It's not just me. Of course he did it. Of course he did it for me. But
I'm cool with
if
Sean.
he did it to me, he did it to you.
I see what I'm saying. Okay, I see
that's
what
all.
you're
That's
saying.
all I'm saying. I would love to beat the fuck out of him, and that's a fight that I think before we start the damn main card, like you get the main card, then boom, this is the real start of this real damn main card. So I think me and O'Schmelly, obviously we're both from Phoenix. I think it would be good. I think there's been a lot of shit talking in between both of us. I think we've kind of both. I think it's time to get it done through this.
I like it. For me, I'm gonna have to go with, if I had to pick, fight number 5. Why not? I'm gonna have to go with Alex Pereira taking on Tom Aspinall.
Okay.
I think Alex Pereira moves up. He's done what he needed to do at light heavyweight. I think he moves up and he takes on Tom Aspinall. Give me that fight.
Yeah. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So fight number 5. Now, see, this is getting tricky now. Now, if we're to make what would be a good dude? We got to see Patty in there. I would like to see Patty and Renato Moicano, dude. I think Patty gets it done, but I would love to see the anticipation of that fight, dude. And
You think Patty Pimblech beats Renato Moicano?
Yeah,
Patty Pimblech.
Yeah, Patty's wrestling, bro. Like Moicano, his defense is so suspect, dude. And Patty's a lot better, Kamaru.
Oh, I know Patty's good. Don't.
Patty's a lot better than what we actually thought. But I think this would be a great opener to a 5 round to the perfect, five fights on a pay-per-view. I would like to see Patty and Moicano.
Listen, don't
Make
in
it
no way.
grudgy.
In no way am I saying Patty can fight. He can fight. He's proven time and time again. So I get you, but for me, you want to start a pay-per-view off? There's no better guy than Mr. Highlight himself. Justin Gaethje versus anybody. Justin Gaethje versus give me Armin Sarukian.
Ooh.
Justin Gaethje, Armin Sarukian. Give me that fight.
Yeah.
To start.
I like that, Kush. Damn.
Yeah. See, I'll be doing my homework, Henry. I'll be studying. I'll be doing my thing. So let me just let you know right now. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Damn. No, that's what's up. That was a good question from the casuals.
Yeah,
damn, casuals step
question.
up sometimes.
Yeah. But Henry, UFC 312 going down this weekend. Make sure you order your pay-per-views. Exciting main event, exciting co-main event. I can't wait to see this. Could this be potential early in the year? 2 titles changing hands? Hey, you have to wait and see till Saturday. But as always, I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
And we are out.